Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome back to another Real Madrid news video. Today, we will be specifically talking about the future of Rodrygo. Now, a couple of days ago, I made a video on the future of Endrick and Mendy. If you guys haven't already, go and check out that video. It is just again, similarly, my thoughts on the two of them and the fact that specifically for Mendy, but both of those players missed out on important training sessions and first impressions and just almost the entirety of the Club World Cup so far. So for them to be reintegrated into the team, not the starting 11, just the team in general, is going to be very tough, and it's going to take a lot of hard work for the two of them. When you look at how the likes of Gonzalo Garcia and Fran Garcia have been playing in their positions. So, talked about that. Go and check it out already if you guys haven't already. Now, another player that we didn't talk about too much and we haven't talked about a lot in the Club World Cup is Rodrygo. Now, I know a lot of noise has been made about a potential exit, and I know a lot of people have really, been 50-50 on whether Rodrygo should leave Real Madrid for Real Madrid fans, right? Now, what I will say is this. In the Club World Cup so far, Rodrygo, he started against Al Hilal, and then I believe in the next 3 games, he got a combined minutes combined of 23 minutes against Pachuca, Salzburg, and Juventus combined. He did come on against Dortmund for a little bit, but again, it wasn't like he had a lot of involvement. I know he did play a part in the final goal, the third goal, but overall, it's not been looking good for Rodrygo. Now, the difference is for Mbappe, he hasn't started, right? Gonzalo Garcia has somehow managed to keep both Mbappe and Rodrygo on the bench. But we know that Mbappe has been suffering with the injury, maybe not injury, but the illness, the stomach illness, right? And we know that he might not be at 100%, and the fact that Gonzalo Garcia is doing so well is probably an excuse to let Gonzalo Garcia start instead of a not fully fit Mbappe. That makes sense. But Rodrygo is fully fit. Xabi Alonso said at the start of the Club World Cup, prior to the Club World Cup, he said that he has spoken to Rodrygo. Rodrygo knows that last season wasn't a great season for him, and everyone at the club knows, and Xabi Alonso knows that last season wasn't a great season. He didn't play much towards the end, and when he did play, he wasn't heavily involved compared to Mbappe, and to a certain extent, Vini Jr. as well. I know Vini Jr. didn't have a great season, but look at the numbers, it was still decent. For Rodrygo, he wasn't as impactful as the other two, and he's always been the number 3 to the Mbappe, Vinicius, Rodrygo front line. So it does sort of make sense for Rodrygo, right? He's not the number 1 in the attack at Real Madrid. He isn't even getting many minutes in the Club World Cup. And think about it. Yes, in La Liga, there's going to be more opportunities. Yes, in the season, there will be more opportunities for him, but not as the main man, okay? If he leaves to a club that isn't Real Madrid, or I would say Liverpool, and maybe even Liverpool. You know what? Liverpool, I believe he gets in on the left-hand side. But any club that isn't Real Madrid, I think he plays most of the games. So, and when I say play, I mean he starts. He's a starter for most teams, right? So, I think this is a very important summer for Rodrygo. Because I'm not going to say it's a make or break Rodrygo season / career. I don't think it's gonna be that dramatic. I think If he stays, he will get a good amount of minutes. He will contribute. He will be part of the team, and he continues being quote third choice, third man in the attack. And look, we have seen it before. Gonzalo Garcia might be the third man. It might be Rodrygo falling down the pecking order, especially if Xabi Alonso continues this front two. Okay? Because as long as Xabi Alonso continues this back three with wing backs, three in the midfield and the front two, we are not going to see Rodrygo being used as much, even more. So he will just fall down the pecking order even more. And I'm just not sure if for Rodrygo this makes sense to stay, which might be why he wants to leave. And we don't know that he wants to leave 100%. Yes, people have reported that he wants to leave. Some people have reported that he wants to stay, but it's not been confirmed from Rodrygo. His agents have been talking to clubs, but that makes sense, right? Obviously, they have to protect their client, they have to protect the player, and if they know that Rodrygo isn't going to be a starter, a regular starter, then they have to start looking for alternatives. I get that. I understand that. But what is my opinion on this from a Real Madrid perspective? First of all, as a fan of Real Madrid, I have always liked Rodrygo a lot. I will never forget that semi-final against Man City. The 2 goals. I will never forget that double, I believe, in the Copa del Rey final against Osasuna. He was carrying the team in that time period. The 22-23 season, I believe he was incredible. Him and Vini Jr. were that front two. It's similar to what Xabi Alonso is doing now, except we didn't have Mbappe, we didn't even have Bellingham then. So him and Vini Jr. were the front two, right? Because sometimes Benzema wouldn't be fit or whatever, right? So he was being more involved. But now, I really like Rodrygo, like I said. I think he's a very talented player. I think we have seen it before. His best position is on the left-hand side. He's not getting anywhere near the left-hand side. He might play on the right, but even now, we might not be playing a front three. So, where is the spot for Rodrygo? Are we going to change Xabi Alonso's system to fit Rodrygo in? Are we going to force him as one of the front two strikers? Can he play? Will he play ahead of Vini Jr.? Because you have to make a choice here, right? As a front two, you need, I would say, Mbappe obviously starts. But who is going to be next to Mbappe? Is it going to be Vini? Is it going to be Rodrygo? Do you go with a proper number 9 like Gonzalo Garcia? I don't know. I don't know what the plan will be. But from what I've seen so far, Mbappe and Vini Jr. have been working quite well in this new system. Gonzalo Garcia has been working very well in this new system. And he hasn't even just been a target man. He has been drifting out to the right, to link up play, to help create opportunities. And I just look at that attack and remember, right? If we're going to go for front two and we have Mbappe, Vini, Gonzalo Garcia, Endrick, and we might still look at an experienced striker, which I do think we probably would be good to have. Where is Rodrygo going to fit in? And you can say, oh, but play him in the front two ahead of Vini Jr. Look, Vini Jr. is not getting benched. Vini Jr. will start unless he's injured or he's not fully fit. So that means that Rodrygo will unfortunately be the sacrificial lamb. Whether we like it or not, that is what it's going to be, unfortunately. So, look, for me, I don't want this deal to happen. I don't want Rodrygo to leave. I remember many good memories, like I said, the Man City game, the Osasuna game, the free kick against Bayern Munich in pre-season. You know, he has had some very good games and good moments with Real Madrid. But unfortunately, I think we have to be open and accepting to the fact that eventually it's going to be a decision that we make, especially with a new manager, with a new coach, with new systems, with new style of play, with a new formation, and with new players coming in and new players that already came in like Mbappe and Endrick, and the academy with Gonzalo Garcia, Victor Munoz might get some game time as well next season. There's gonna be a lot of competition. And for Rodrygo, if his priority is to start week in, week out, he's not gonna get it at Real Madrid. He will be involved, but not as a guaranteed starter every week. So that is just how the overview on Rodrygo's Real Madrid future is. I think with the amount of reports and news coming out of not just Real Madrid but just in general, I believe that Rodrygo will leave. And like I said, I don't say that because I want it to happen. I want him to stay. I want him to do well under Xabi Alonso. But I just have a feeling that all this noise, and usually when such noise comes out, Real Madrid, there will be something about Real Madrid not wanting their player to go. If a fake news or rumor was spread that a player was going to leave Real Madrid, or is close to leaving Real Madrid, or is intending to leave Real Madrid, the club will definitely come out and deny it. We haven't heard that yet. So I think Real Madrid are open to selling Rodrygo if the fee is the right one. And I've always said that I would not accept anything less than 150 million for Rodrygo. I think when you look at this market, and look, people are going to say, oh, but Neymar went for 222 million or whatever. How is Rodrygo 150? First of all, right, you need to look at the market, the difference. Top players nowadays are going for 100 million, right? I mean, look at the 100 million pound signings that Chelsea have done, right? When they got Enzo, when they got Caicedo, Declan Rice went for over 100 as well. These players, they are good players, don't get me wrong, but I think Rodrygo is certainly in that same level as these players. I think when you look, it's hard to compare players, but I believe that Rodrygo is certainly a player worth that. Now, whether a team will be paying that, I don't think so. I don't think any team will be willing to pay 150. I think 100 million maybe, but I will be trying to push up to 150 as close as you can get. But we have to try, right? I think teams will be lowballing. They'll be coming in with maybe 70, 80 million, and I just don't think that is a fair deal. I think Rodrygo is worth much more than that. I mean, Real Madrid have made 72 million from the Club World Cup so far already, right? You are telling me that by playing, 5 games, we have made 70 million, and Rodrygo is only worth 70 to 80. That is just not the equivalent, right? I believe Rodrygo is genuinely a 150 million player. If you can't get that, if no one's going to pay that, try to push as high as you can, at least 100 million. But yeah, let me just get into this. PSG have made contact with Rodrygo's camp should he choose to leave Real Madrid. I don't believe that PSG are the only team. I think Arsenal, we know, are in there. Chelsea, you can always count on them for being interested in a young player. I know Rodrygo's not 19, 20, 21 anymore, but he's still relatively young enough. And I think if PSG want this deal, feel free. Just give us Vitinha. Actually, you know what? I would take Vitinha and like 50 million. I think Vitinha is worth 100 million. I think Vitinha is that good. He goes for 100 million. So you know what? Fair play. I will take that. I will take that. And you need to consider the fact that we are dealing with PSG here. We are dealing with PSG. So yeah, I just think that I just don't know what the future negotiations between Real Madrid and PSG will look like or will be like. But if I'm Real Madrid and PSG knock on the door and say, we want Rodrygo, but we're not going to pay 100 million or 150 million or anything like that, I would be looking and saying, well, give us Vitinha or Nuno Mendes. Now, again, I think Fran Garcia has shown a lot of qualities in this Club World Cup, but if we're not going to progress on Alvaro Fernandez, and we are looking, or we might get rid of Mendy, because I don't think Mendy is a viable backup option now, then, Mendes is still a very good option. So, but I would like Vitinha more. I think Vitinha would be sick in that midfield with Valverde and Bellingham. That would be so fucking... Sorry for swearing. That would be so sick. Oh, man. That would be so sick. Yeah, that's just slip out of my mouth. I'm sorry. But, yeah. There's that on Rodrygo. Let me know what thoughts are down below. This is coming in from ESPN Brazil as well. I think a lot of outlets are reporting that, but nothing done, nothing confirmed, and it's still lots of rumors. Now, to end off today, it will just be a short one. It is the confirmation that Davide Ancelotti will be Botafogo's new manager. Here we go, from Fabrizio Romano. Good luck to Davide. It is first real challenge as the main manager. He's always been Carlo Ancelotti's sort of assistant, the son, of course, of Carlo Ancelotti. But yeah, it is new adventure. I mean, his father is now the head coach of Brazil, so he is sort of in that environment. He'll be in that culture. He'll be, not the same, but similar. And just really happy for Davide. When he left with Carlo, I really expected him to maybe join Carlo, but he didn't. And I suppose he has always been waiting for the day that Carlo Ancelotti leaves Real Madrid for him to have the opportunity to explore as the manager, as the main manager of a team somewhere, maybe in Europe. But it's going to be Botafogo in South America, in Brazil. So, all the best to him. If he succeeds and does very well, I think he could make a very good manager for any European teams in the future. To end off with, I'm not gonna show you this, because it might be copyrighted or whatever. But this is coming in from KM, and this is a thread of Mbappe's insane goals this season. There is this goal against Dortmund, the Caesar bicycle kick. There is a couple of bangers against Sevilla and Celta Vigo. So just go and check it out. Some of the best goals this season from Mbappe. Brilliant player, and I can't wait for him to start cooking. But let me know what thoughts are down below. Hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel on already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.